One of the many powers of the mind that are important for a scientist to develop is the power of observation. Observation is different from just looking at things. Our minds are not cameras that just take pictures of things. A scientist is always asking questions like what is happening here and how is it happening? We see objects around us using our physical eyes. The rays of light that are reflected from an object enter our eyes, passing through the cornea. It then passes through the iris and the pupil. Behind the iris sits a lens. The rays of light then pass through several layers and form an image of the object at the back of each eye, on the retina. The retina is a nerve layer. It has special cells called rods and cones that, among other things, help us recognize colors. These cells turn the image formed on the retina into electrical signals that are sent to the brain through the optic nerves. The brain processes the information it receives by these signals. This is what we call seeing an object. Now I share with you a fun fact. The image that reaches the retina through the lens is actually upside down. But we do not see things upside down because our brain knows how to process the signals correctly. So this was the process of seeing with our physical eyes. But observation is not only about seeing with our physical eyes. We also look with the eye of our mind. So how do we see with the eye of our mind? The eye serves as an important tool for the sense of sight. However, the act of seeing in the physical world actually takes place within the brain. Similarly, the brain serves as a tool for our mind. The mind, which is a power of the soul, is not in the brain, but is connected to it. When we speak of the human mind, we are not simply referring to the brain. The mind comprehends, imagines, invents, and discovers. It thinks about and understands things that cannot be seen, heard, touched, smelled, or tasted. To answer the question further, let me tell you about something we all know today, but what it took humanity thousands of years to discover. For the longest time, people believed that some living organisms arose by themselves from things that were not alive. This idea is known as the spontaneous generation of life. Think about a piece of meat, for example, that is left out to rot. If you just watch it with your physical eyes, you will see that after a while, maggots appear in the meat. Since you would not be able to see where these maggots came from, you would have to conclude that they somehow arise from decaying meat itself. The piece of meat is not alive, but life seems to arise spontaneously from it. For centuries, people believed that this is what was happening. Then in the middle of the 17th century, an Italian doctor by the name of Francesco Redi questioned this belief. He began to observe with a searching mind and reached the conclusion that the maggots came from the eggs laid by flies on the rotting meat. He could not see the eggs. So to find out whether he was right or wrong, he put pieces of meat into a number of flasks, some of which were open to the air and others covered. The maggots appeared only on the meat in the open flasks, which flies could get into. Of course, people still did not give up the idea that life could arise through spontaneous generation from non-living matter. Only after about 200 years did the experiments of a French scientist convince everyone that life only came from life. You must have heard about him. Any guesses? Louis Pasteur was the scientist. I hope this example has shown you how much thinking goes into a good observation. And good observations are building blocks of a successful intellectual investigation and research. We will continue exploring the various powers of the mind that scientists must develop in our future videos.